Nah, you're not lying.
Hold on. Am I now?
Mm-mm.
Hold on, y'all. I'm coming. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I'm coming. Okay, so now it should show to the public. I don't know why it doesn't just start that way. Okay, can you see it?
Let me refresh. Yes.
All right, so we're here. Are you ready? Let me I don't understand what's happening on my screen right now though. I have so much stuff down. You guys give me a moment. I got excited. I was talking and are you ready? Oh, you guys give me a moment. I got excited. I was Oh, there we go. Anyway, hello. Welcome. You guys, I am so excited tonight. I know I've been away. I'm about to catch you guys up on a lot of things, well, a few things. But let me tell y'all why I'm so excited. So, a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half. Yeah, because I was in my other house. So yeah, a couple of years ago, I heard this brother on the Faith Room teaching, and y'all, he taught us from Sesame Street. And when I tell you, he broke Sesame Street down like no other. And I watched this thing daily as a child, and I would have never looked at Sesame. I don't even look at Sesame Street the same no more. I grew so much. So anyway, um, as a podcaster or whatever you do, when you reach out to somebody, especially states, miles, and countries away, you never expect a return. So every time I send out an inbox to somebody, I always send up a prayer and say, "Okay, God, it's in your hands." So when he responded back, y'all just don't know. I almost peed on myself. I was so excited because I'm like, oh my God. Not only did he respond, because he could have easily responded and been like, yeah, got it. Thanks for whatever. But he said, yes, I'll come on your podcast. Oh my God. And y'all know I'm not a starstruck kind of person, but I was truly excited because again, I'm a learner. I love to learn, I love to grow. And so being able to really like personally dialogue with somebody who I get so much wisdom from on a daily basis, especially mirror moments on Fridays. I'm gonna tell y'all all about that too because I got my notes and the dates. It's just it's amazing, right? So I'm excited. I'm here, you guys. Tune in, hit like, share, and get ready because y'all about to grow. So before we get into it, y'all know I have to catch y'all up. Um, so last week I did not come on, you guys, not because life is ever going to stop me, but because I had to take a moment, right? I'm big on not letting my emotions bleed onto other people. And I was in a very emotional state. Um, but life has never stopped me. I've been through a lot and I know I'm going to go through a lot more and it's never going to change, right? On 1031, life as I knew it definitely changed. And it's so crazy how the world works because how would I find this out on the last day of Breast Cancer Awareness Month? Um, I was diagnosed. I'm not going to say I have. I'm not so ignorant that I'm going to say, I'm going to just speak something that's not as though it is not, because it is, but God. I was diagnosed with cancer in my left breast. It's called invasive ductile carcinoma. I do have triple negative, which means that it is a very aggressive cancer, has a high risk of coming back once removed. So I am being encouraged more than not to go ahead and have my breast removed. Y'all know if I do, I'm gonna just add to my little tattoos, and keep it going. I don't mind. Whatever happens. What I can tell you is that I shall live and not die, and that life will go on. I'm gonna be blessed in every way. I'm going to still keep living my life and enjoying it. And I want you guys to do the same with me. However, I do want to say, ladies, please go get checked. I found this out from a simple mammogram, right? So it is very, very important to consistently get yourself checked. Brothers, go get your prostates checked. Get checked out. It's important. It's life changing, right? It's catch it early. And so here I am. I challenge you all to join me, right? For me, this is what I'm going to call my scared straight moment in life, where now my sister, shout out to Crystal Winston, she sent me a Vitamix in the mail, and I'm about to just reset my life, and I encourage you guys to join me. You know, fruits and vegetables all day long. I ate some meat today for a specific purpose because I was hungry and I did not have anything else to eat. But I'm resetting, right? And in that space, I challenge you guys. I ask you guys. You know, everybody's like, "Well, what can I do?" What I want you to do is just join me, be a part of my village. My family has shown up so much in 7 days. It's kind of overwhelming. I've had to stop answering calls and stop responding to text. So anybody that's listening that I've had to ignore, please don't take it personal and just understand that I needed that moment with me, my daughter, and God, you know. And that's where I've been. So here I am. It's the 8th day. Y'all know my favorite number is 8 new beginnings. I'm back at it and I'm ready. So, and y'all know I'm a little crazy. So if they cut these things off, I'm coming up here bare chest and I'm gonna let y'all see it all. So be ready. Okay. Anyway, let's get into it because I got this brother on here with me that I am so absolutely ready for. Y'all listen, if you have not started following this brother, go ahead and jump on his page right now. Stephen Thurston. He is out of Chicago, but you can also find this brother in Atlanta, Houston, and the spot that he just shared with me, Morocco. Y'all listen, we in the wrong country, that's all I'm gonna say. But without further ado, I'm gonna let him take the mic real quick, give his own introduction, and then I'm gonna get into this with him. And y'all, get your last thing I'm gonna say, go get pen and paper. I promise you don't want to be in this brother's presence without pen and paper. Okay. And get y'all Chiquita's banana ready for tonight because we all gonna have a banana tonight because I got one for y'all. Okay. All right, brother. You got it.
Cool. Well, Spice, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity and the occasion to share. People don't have to be nice. And so you being nice and inviting me on your platform means a whole lot to me. So I'm honored. Thank you. I appreciate it. For those who don't know me, I am Stephen Thurston. That's Stephen with a PH. So you can catch me on Facebook underneath that name, or you can go over to Instagram, Stephen J. Thurston, and catch me there. I'm currently serving as the pastor of the New Covenant Baptist Church here in Chicago. Entrepreneur as well. I've had everything from retail clothing stores, women's shoe stores, high-end men's clothing stores, real estate. I've got a consulting firm now. I work with nonprofits and municipalities and institutions of higher learning. Pretty much anybody that has a check that's going to clear
Come
in
on.
the space of leadership development and project management. And I do this thing called Mirror Moments every Friday on Facebook. I'm suspended now. I got 15 more days before I can go live again because I've been being pro-Palestine. I'm sorry, pro-Palestine. And, you know, people who support Israel try to suppress that. And so they tried to find something on me to shut my page down from going live. So in 15 more days, I'm going to be back speaking truth to power on my Facebook Lives. But on Fridays, you can catch me 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And in the meantime, you can go catch some of the previous ones. Just hit the video tab on my page and you can catch all of those and stay connected with what we're doing. And what we're doing is trying to help people change what's within so that they can ultimately change what's around.
Come on, I love it. And listen, I'm gonna give y'all some dates to go to his page too, because these last 3 Fridays, was it 3? Let me see. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. These last 3 Fridays, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. Listen, we about to get into it. So, brother, did you have anything else to say? Because I'm finna jump.
I'll stop there, let you jump, and then I'll follow you.
Let's go. Okay. So, y'all, on 9/29, the brother came in and the title was Friends with Benefits. Okay. So here's my first question to you. Well, and this was a nugget that you put out. If you start, and mind you, I kind of word stuff in my own words. You just take it
Be
over.
free. Be free.
You pretty much said if you start without boundaries, it stays without boundaries. So start with how you desire the relationship to be.
Yeah.
Now, in those boundaries, right? How do you, if you start without the boundary, and you get into this relationship and you're going and you're going and you're going, do you just leave the relationship because now I can't go back and put a boundary? Like, how do you mend a relationship that's broken all because we started without boundaries and now you want to put up boundaries, male or female?
Yeah, that can be very difficult. So let's reframe. Let's start from the jump. It probably isn't a relationship. It's probably a situationship.
Okay.
And there's going to be a difference. A relationship is a mutually beneficial engagement. Situationships are very transactional. And oftentimes we are very transactional, if we're going to be honest about it.
Okay.
We see something, we say something, we like something, we smashing something. And we getting what we can get out of that situationship. And
Right.
then it evolves and feelings are caught by one person, maybe other persons. But once it's out the gate, it can be difficult to reframe the game, because once you have set the standard of what things are going to be and how things are going to be, and I've been getting something for a particular price, it's hard to change the price in the middle of the game and rewrite the rules and reset the rules.
Mm.
It takes mature people to say, hey, this is where we were and kind of this is what I was on, and now I'm feeling something different. You feeling that too? All right, cool. Well, let's renegotiate the rules of engagement here, and this is what it's going to be. This is how things are going to flow. But it's rare that we find two people that are going to pause long enough, that have that level of emotional intelligence to come back to the table to renegotiate the rules of engagement. And so we find people continuing down the path that continues to diverge the further that they walk down the path. And then at some point, because they've ripped apart so much, there's a clash between, because expectations aren't being met. And what
Mhm.
people will fail to recognize is it wasn't an expectation, it was a wish. Because for there to be an expectation, it needed to come from your head, out of your mouth, into that other person's ears, into their head. They're able to regurgitate it back to you, and you agree.
Mm.
Oftentimes, the stuff just stays in our head, and we think telepathically the other person, the other party is going to pick up on it, know what we want, and we come to some agreement. And so we have this friction point. People go their separate ways. We start dogging each other out, and then we on to the next victim.
And with something you said, I think the biggest problem with that expectation of telepathy is we also have the expectation of how men should know how to treat a woman, how women should know how to be a wife, which is what I was telling you before we came on. My goal is I want to dig into the minds of brothers so we can learn what does a wife look like to you? What does a daughter look like to you? What does a sister look like to you, right?
Yeah.
And so with that, is there a lack of communication there, or a lack of knowing how to communicate, in your opinion?
I think there's both. There's a lack of communication. There's a lack of knowing how to communicate. We have to understand an individual's family of origin. That plays a major role in what they expect or what it looks like, what love looks like, what healthy relationship looks like. And then we have to go to the place and the point and look at how God wired us and kind of just made us. Men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti. There's a book on that, and it's very true. So I'm not only a theologian, I'm a sociologist. So I understand how human beings interact and engage with each other. And some of the biggest fights that we'll fight are really boiled down to how we're hardwired.
Okay.
Women, spaghetti, y'all can multitask, even though multitask isn't really something that human beings can technically do. But you get the point. Women can multitask. Y'all can do a whole bunch of stuff at the same time. You all will remember stuff way better than us. And so we'll do something today that you can connect back to 1996. And then you'll project that thing into 2038 and how it's all going to play out.
Okay.
Because, like a piece of spaghetti on the plate, you don't know where one strand ends and another begins. It's all intermix and intermingle. But men are like waffles. And so we move from one square to the next square at a time. We're very structured and very strategic, and most women don't pick up on that. So when y'all talking and telling us all this stuff throughout the day, how your day went and what you want us to fix and don't fix and all of that, we get lost because we need you to take us one square at a time. Slow down,
One square.
break it down. We're
Mhm.
not remedial. We're not retarded. It's not that we need an IEP, but we just move from one box at a time. And y'all are jumping from boxes and tic-tac-toeing and crossing, and we can't keep up with you. And at the end of the day, the man's ultimate desire is to get to the center box. The center box, every waffle has a center square. And for men, that center square is sex. So we're trying to get through, finish everything in this box before we get to this box and finish everything in there for us to ultimately get to that center box.
Wow.
And it becomes difficult because y'all see stuff different, we see stuff different, and we can't make the waffles and the spaghetti come together. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. Dang. Okay. Now, so that kind of takes me to the next question that I had about this particular one, friends with benefits.
Yeah.
You spoke about what about your mentality makes you devalue yourself. Let me make sure I said it, to a clearance. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh Lord, talk to us about that." Like, and so how do you? Because some of my questions go, all of this is intertwined, right? But some of
Yeah.
my questions go over because I want to know, how do we appraise ourselves? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So get us there.
Yeah, so I'll tell the story that I told in that particular Facebook Live. So Nicole owns a furniture store, secondhand furniture store. She's got a nice mahogany table that's sitting in the middle of that store, but she needs space because she's got new inventory coming in, and so she's going through and she's marking things down, trying to get the customers that are coming in to buy them. And so this mahogany table was previously listed at $900. She's now marked it down to $600. And so Chris comes into the store. He's looking around. He sees the table, walks past it several times, but it has captured and arrested his attention. He decides to engage with Nicole about purchasing the table and says, "Look, I see that you've marked this down to 600. How about you take 400? I got 400 cash in my pocket and I'll be willing to give it to you." And she says, "Yeah, that's kind of low. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it." He starts talking about where it's got a little nick over here, finding the deficiencies in the table, and continues to go back and forth with her. And she's like, "But I can't. I've marked it down significantly. They don't make tables like this no more. This is mahogany. This is the real thing. This ain't IKEA." They go back and forth for a while, and Nicole finally pulls out her red pen and she says, "You know what? You have changed my mind, sir." She picks up that tag. She marks through the markdown of the $600, and then she marks it to 750. He's like, "Whoa, wait a minute. We going in the wrong direction. It was 9, you marked it down to 6, now you bumped it back up to 750. How you get there? Where they do that at?" She says to him, "Based upon the conversation, you helped me to recognize and realize that I had devalued this table too much. They don't make tables like this no more. And there's nowhere you're going to find a solid mahogany table for this price. And so, because you helped me to recognize that I dropped the value way too low, I had to bring it back up to a level that was suitable and stable." They go back and forth, and eventually Chris walks out of that store paying $750 for that table. And because Chris paid a higher value for that table than he may have wanted to, he treated it better. He loved on it better. Whenever his kids had a drink after school, he made them put down a coaster before they put the drink down so that the water residue wouldn't leave a water ring. Whenever the kids came and threw their backpacks on the table, he took them off because this is a solid mahogany table that they don't make anymore. That's still worth way more than I paid for it, even though I paid more than I wanted to. It's got some worth and it's got some value.
Right.
We have our cars appraised when we go try to sell them. We have our homes appraised when we try to sell them because we want to get the top value for these things because we value these things. And so the question has to be raised, why don't we value ourselves? Why do we keep giving ourselves away and selling ourselves so inexpensively? You selling yourself for getting your hair done and your nails done and a damn trip to Tulum. Like, ma'am, why? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's the problem? Why is your self-worth so depreciated? Why is your self-value not at a higher level? And we have to begin to see ourselves as being people that are made in God's image, God's kids. And so we've got some worth, we've got some value, and we need to make people step their standard up to gain access to us. The price that people pay to gain access to us has to go higher. It should at least be commitment, at the very least. But again, so many of us are so transactional that we don't even take into consideration that this person should at least pay the price of commitment to be able to engage me at a certain level.
Listen, first of all, ladies, any ladies in here, if you of a top value lady, I know myself, I'm gonna speak for me. How many of y'all want to change your name to Mahogany? Because my name is Mahogany. They don't make them like they used to. I'm telling you, I'm Mahogany. But no, that was so good. Yes. So in that, right? Let's go back because you mentioned something about we got to look at the family where they come from and all of that.
Yes.
Do you think part of how we value ourselves deal with our past, your
Oh,
upbringing?
definitely. Yes, yes. What we don't cry out as children, we act out as adults. And because therapy is so taboo within our community, many of us are suffering. We're suffering in silence, and we're not dealing with some of the issues that we really don't even recognize exist within us. There's something called epigenetic transmission, and that's the passing on of trauma through DNA. Um,
What?
Epigenetic transmission is the passing on of trauma. Trauma can be passed down through DNA. And so many of us have trauma that's within us that's been passed down by our parents, and we don't even recognize that it's there. We've got childhood trauma that's been suppressed. It happened so long ago. Your natural instincts cause you to kind of block it, submerge it, subdue it, and it's never been processed in a healthy way. And so that impacts how we see people, how we frame love, how we frame relationships, how we interact with one another. And it's not until we lay across somebody's couch. And I know we got some church people that are probably on here that think, well, I can just pray it away. I can just pray about it. Give it to Jesus. He'll fix all my problems. You probably need Jesus and a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
You need a couch and a church. You need all of this stuff working together. Some people need medication. It's a chemical issue. It's not a demon. No, you just like chemically imbalanced. You need to get that shit straightened out and get on some medication to kind of level you out. And prayer ain't gonna fix that. You need a pill. And we got to move past being so spiritual and deep about stuff that we miss the help and the healing that we can gain access to. That therapist will help us to uncover some stuff that we never knew existed, that trigger point to bring us to that place of being healed and seeing what those pain points in our lives are that have held us back and hindered us for so long.
And yes, thank you. Because I was about to say, when you say epigenetic, wow, transmission, that's heavy, right? Because that sounds to me like the times that we say, this is just who I am, this is how I am, and we're accepting something about our DNA that we don't even understand where it comes from.
Yeah, that's why post-traumatic slave syndrome is still real this far removed from slavery, because that trauma is passed down through DNA.
My God.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Like, how do you, I don't even know what to ask with that though, because I mean, I've seen it. I've seen us. I won't point the finger, but I've seen us as humans just accept what we think is our personality. I mean, the person that's always mad, always offended, always aggressive. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We accept this thinking that this is who we are, not realizing epigenetic transmission. Honey, I told y'all, if y'all ain't got y'all pens by now, honey, you listen, you got an F in class. So with that, right?
All of us need therapists.
Okay.
That's how we respond to this. As Black people living in America under white supremacy that shows up in all shapes, forms, and fashions, and it's even perpetuated by Black people. Yes, Black people can perpetuate white supremacy. We do it all the time, even in Black churches.
Yeah.
We are in a constant state of stress and pressure and crisis. And so the only way to get that healing is to get us some help. All of us need to have therapists. I go to a therapist not because I'm crazy. I go to a therapist to keep from being crazy and to deal with people who are crazy because they won't get the help that they need.
Woo, child. I got to get me a bell again. I done lost my bell. Listen, I don't even know if I'm going to get to all these pages because we ain't even made it past the first page. Now, hold on, honey. I can't read my own writing. I'm sorry. This one was the final nugget I got from this particular live you did. Yeah. And my note says the physical impact, the emotional hold on. The physical can impact the emotional that can skew the rational. Boom. Yes. I had to get it. Remember that part?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in that one hit home for me because it goes back to what we were talking about, friends with benefits. One of the things you said on one of them was like, we smash and people smash, and and the reality is people are having sex, right? Yeah. And so in this sexual space, I'm pretty sure you remember years ago, many moons ago, shout out to my pastor mother Yvonne Williams Howard that's up here. She shared with me, Juanita Bynum, this is how long ago it was, the VHS tapes, and one of them was No More Sheets. And when I tell you, I had a whole fallout faint from realizing how many people I needed to divorce, and or that she talked about being married to, right?
Yeah.
And so when it says the physical can impact the emotional, which can skew the rational, it's like all of these personalities, like it can be 2 people, it can be 5, it can be 10, whatever. Sure. You have more than one physical impacting the emotional, that's the skewing the rational on how to move in a situationship. I'm gonna say that because we got way more situationships than we do relationships. How do we tackle that from within, for ourselves, right? How do we step outside and say, first of all, this ain't a relationship. And now what do I need to do to either get out of it or make it a relationship? Am I asking that right?
Yeah, I follow what you're saying. We have to recognize or raise the question within ourselves, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Is this person, is this thing that we're in meeting my expectations? And if not, why am I okay with this? Stop pointing the finger out, point the finger in, because as I said, my focus
Always.
is to help people to change what's within so that they can change what's around. And a lot of the stuff that we go through has nothing to do with other people. It's our shit that we don't want to clean up and we don't want to address. And so we project it and transfer it on the other people. No, something wrong with you. Something wrong with your ass. If you're going to keep taking less than suitable treatment and your standards are going to keep diminishing and diminishing and diminishing, it ain't them. You have allowed this. So, what is it about you? What's wrong with you? What do you not want to address with you? What are you running away from within yourself that allows you to subject yourself to subpar treatment, to be abused, to whatever's happening within that situationship? So you have to wrestle with that question and answer that question. And then the next question is, if nothing changes, am I going to be okay with this? If you're
Now,
not,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
then you need to move on. If
Mm-hmm.
you are, then we don't want to hear your pity parties on Facebook, and stop calling your BFF complaining about stuff. You have made a decision, so stay there and live with it.
So stay there and live with it. We often say looking in the mirror, right? Would you agree that sometimes we as humans, and I always like to say we because I don't want people to feel like you're judging, you pointing, you
Yeah.
talk about everybody else but yourself. But do you feel like sometimes we as humans don't know what we're looking for in the mirror? And what I mean by that is I know some people like what we were just talking about, where
Mhm.
it is you don't know the value to put on yourself because you don't know what to look for yourself. You don't know how to appraise yourself. So again, my dig into the black man's mind is for the black men to tell us what is a woman with those high value. You know what I mean? Like what, and not high value. I hated that word when Kevin Samuels used it. But what is you, do you get what I'm saying though?
Yeah,
Like
so
how
yeah,
does a woman look at herself and say, I am somebody, I am enough, and
got
be
it.
that, not
Yeah.
just say it, because I'm tired of people telling you what to say and not knowing how to be. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah. So developing emotional intelligence. That's when the high value thing. I get what you're saying about Kevin and what he was doing. That's really driving that emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is something that we all can grow in. And so I would challenge people to do their work, do their study on what emotional intelligence is and steps that you can take to grow in that particular area. Beyond that, having blind spot indicators. My car has indicators on the side mirrors that whenever I'm about to switch lanes, I put on my turn signal. If there's something that's in the blind spot that I could not see over my shoulder when I gave that quick glance, it kind of lights up to capture my attention, to keep me from merging over and crashing my car or allowing
Okay.
somebody to crash into me.
Mhm.
Likewise, as human beings, all of us need blind spot indicators.
Okay.
We need friends that can be honest with us, that can tell us about ourselves, to expose our blind spots without us getting an attitude, cutting them off at the new year, talking about new year, new me. Everybody couldn't come with me. No, you need some of these people because they're telling you the truth about your raggedy self.
Oh
And they're
my
trying to
God.
help you to get your life together. But you keep cutting out the people that can help you and adding in people that'll harm you by lying to you. And so having the emotional intelligence, having the blind spot indicators in your life, and I'm gonna keep going back to getting a therapist to help you to unpack some stuff, to do a genogram so you can look at some of the stuff in your family to understand why you are the way you are, why you do what you do, why you think what you think, and how you can reverse some of that, or at least be aware when you're doing some certain things so that you can kind of grow from there.
All right. Oh my God. Such wisdom. So that was 929, y'all. Again, this is Pastor Stephen Thurston. And let me let y'all know something real quick, and we're gonna jump back on it. What really, really made me follow this brother more than anything, because no matter who I'm around, people love to correct my cussing and tell me that I can't be a woman of God because I cuss. When I heard this brother say cuss word, I was like, that's my guy. Yeah, I'm following, I'm learning, because I know this brother loves the Lord. Like the way he teaches is phenomenal. Anyway, that's all I'm saying.
And we can do. Listen, I did a podcast. I'm on a podcast called Holy Smokes, Cigars and Spirituality, where we deconstruct bad theology one cigar at a time. So I would encourage people to follow that, to tap into that. We did a whole show on cussing. As a theologian, as an individual who speaks Greek, Hebrew, a little Aramaic, and English, people who come with that spiritual perspective about that and try to proof text with scripture ain't talking about that. None of the words that we use as cussing exist in the Greek or the Hebrew or Aramaic language. That's not what they were talking about in the text. So you're bastardizing the text when you're trying to ascribe this Western 21st century misreading of the text into our lives for those of us who have color added to our language. Stop doing that and recognize that cussing is actually the result of racism if you do your homework. Furthermore, the words that we ascribe as cuss words didn't come until like 17 centuries after the biblical text was canonized and written. So stop that shit. And you can't keep running up on people who like actually do this work for a living, like me, who are real theologians, who speak the language, who know the origins, and try to spiritualize it. Because no, that's not what the Bible says. So stop doing that.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Learn something. I love it. So listen, the first live on his page that we just discussed is from September the 29th. Now I'm gonna take y'all to because it's every Friday, remember. I'm gonna take y'all to October the 6th, okay? I don't know if y'all ready for this because I wasn't, because I had never heard of this. This day was called Why Does God Leave Our Sex Switch On? Y'all heard what I said, right? Because it fucked me up too. Okay, so I was like, what now? First of all, good brother, go on and let the people know what the sex switch is.
So that's our sexuality. That's our sex drive. All of us have it. It's normal. It's natural. It's not the devil. It's not like God controls everything from the waist up and then the devil has taken over from the waist down. Stop that stupid stuff. Our sex drive is natural, it's normal, and it's healthy, and we need to stop suppressing it.
Come on now. And in the sex drive, what should we do with it?
We should understand why it was given to us, what it's for. And here's the reality. God knew, I believe, in creation that human beings would be human beings. People would be peopling at a certain point. And what happens is we have breakdowns in our relationships. We were created as relational beings. We need to be in community. We're tribal by instinct and by nature. We need that connectedness. And so there will be times where people would kind of come into our lives and then that relationship would fall apart. It would break apart. And y'all have been there before, where it's damaged you, it's hurt you, and you just want to kind of like close in, shut the doors, shut the drapes, shut the blinds, turn all the lights out, eat ice cream and snacks and cake and Twix, yeah, drink Coca-Cola, all of that, and you pouting and you just jacked up. Life is just horrible for you, and you would withdraw and you would stay there. There would need to be something that would move you out of that place back into a space of wanting to relate with people. And that's ultimately what our sex drive does. It helps us to re-engage in relationship, in partnership, in engaging and interacting with human beings. Now, does that mean that every time you see something that you like, that you're supposed to smash? No, that's not what that means. Some people are just supposed to be your friend. Some people are just supposed to help you through a certain situation or circumstance. Everybody ain't meant for you to smash just because you find them attractive or your sex drives kind of connect with each other. And so again, it's like an insurance policy to bring us back into the space and place of interacting and engaging with one another. And then if you do find somebody that you like and the relationship develops and they're willing to pay the price of commitment, have your way.
Commit. So just to make sure we're understanding correctly, you are saying that sometimes the attraction is to bring relationship like friendship or business ships and things like it's just an attraction.
Yes. Okay. There are people that I'm attracted to. We've hung out, spent time, and nothing ever happened. It never went beyond a certain point. I'm still attracted to them. I still think they banging, got a banging body, all of that. But that ain't the point and purpose of our connection. And you got to be emotionally intelligent enough to recognize that. Yeah, I'll smash you, but is it going to go beyond smashing? Because if it's not, then I ain't wasting a smash. Like, because I value the relationship, I value the friendship, I value your intellect and what you bring into my life. You're here for a reason, and I don't want to jack that reason up by smashing.
Correct. So then my next question with this live, and this was really good for me. You said you mentioned sex being the enemy of intimacy at times. Please elaborate, because that was heavy, brother. That was heavy.
Yeah, that's a kind of deep thought. It goes into the fact that we'll put that in place as a placeholder just to kind of hide from people. And we turn these relationships or situationships into very transactional things. And so I'm gonna keep it transactional. I'm gonna compartmentalize you for this and this alone. And so if I just keep it right there and don't go across that threshold into the intimacy space, I feel good, because for whatever reason, there are multiple reasons why people don't want to enter into the space of deep intimacy and real relationship with people, that they'll just keep it very surface. And so sex can be surface for a lot of people. They don't let themselves go past a certain thing. It's for the moment. And when that moment is done, get away from me. I don't like you. Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. Get your stuff and go. I'll see you. I'll see you next time. I need you to pull up.
Now, do you think that, say the person that does that, male or female, do you think that that does something to them as well? Like, do you feel like that, say they do it, that's their thing. Like, I have no intimate connection with anyone. Do you think that they're building a wall to where now you're going to make it, if you do it so often, so much, or so long, that now you've built up a wall that you're not going to know how to be intimate when the time tries to come?
Great question. I think that all of that is a what's called a presenting issue from a sociological and psychological perspective. So a presenting issue is what you see, but it's not the root. It's not the real issue. And so something has happened to get them to that place already.
Okay.
So that's, yeah, it's the more they, it's not like the more they do it, the more harder it will be. They're already at that place where they don't want to cross over into an intimate space. So
So
for that,
something before all of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we got to go back to the root cause analysis of what got you here. Why are you so cut off with people? Why do you have such a hard line drawn in the sand that you won't cross over?
Hmm.
They're just acting out what their normal behavioral patterns are. It's not about reinforcing and making it stronger. It's there already.
Okay. Okay. But can be changed, can be fixed, can be turned around?
I believe anything can be changed, fixed, turned around if you're willing to do the work. Most people aren't willing to do the work.
Because it
They're
takes
not. It
too
takes work. It takes honesty. You got to first admit that I'm jacked up. This is why I'm jacked up. This is what happened to me in my formative developmental years that got me to this place where I don't let people past a certain point in my life.
mm. Okay. Golly, you so heavy. Now, there was a part two. I said 3 days is 4 days. Yep. There was a part two on 10:13 to the same one. Why does God leave my sex switch on? And this is what I wrote down for that one. It says sexuality drives relationships of all kinds, not just as, oh no, we talked about that one. Hold on, where am I at? Okay. No, that was it. I'm sorry. I had already talked about that one. So now we're on to part three, which was how much are you worth sexually?
Yeah.
Woo! Now that, because I'm tired of hearing people talk about how good their penis and pooch is, right? How you know, right? But let's talk about that. You spoke about settling, which I found more times often than not, right? I think in this one you talked about the $600 man, but you want the $300 man. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
Oftentimes, though, that $600 man or woman from both sides is, you're not attracted to him. Like, shouldn't you be attracted to the person that you're trying to spend your life with?
Yeah. Great question. I believe there's great value in that. And I think also it depends on what stage you are in life, not
Okay.
age, what stage. Because people can reach a certain stage in life where what was of value a stage or two ago ain't of value where I am now. And so I need somebody that if something goes down with me, they can step in, run the business, hold stuff down. I can trust them. I can know that they're going to make decisions that's going to be for the best interest of us as a collective. Now that may not may mean that you got a little bit more meat in your bones. It's gone from the Coke figure to like it's a little extra, like right up in here. So that may have been a priority 10 years ago.
Okay.
This is a priority right now. Are you mature enough to handle all that I have going on? Can
Mm,
you walk with me in where I am and where I'm going?
okay.
I can always get some arm candy. Mm, can you handle this? So I
Right.
think it's a stage thing,
Okay.
and we got to
So
be honest about that. We not going to, and guys do this all the time. And I am a womanist. I think from that lens. I center women.
okay.
And guys do this all the time with all of these expectations and what they want the girl to look like. Sir, you raggedy.
I'm getting off.
Your body ain't together.
Come on now.
Your nails got dirt all under them and just come on, man, stop
Somebody
that.
ring the bell.
So let's match all of these expectations on
Right.
both sides. What we're asking people to bring to the table, let's make sure you matching with all of that stuff and move beyond all this superficial stuff. Like we've got to do that. There's a book entitled "Is Marriage for White People?" It's an amazing book. I would recommend you read it, even if you're not thinking about getting married. But it goes into the psyche of white people around marriage. This is business. This is an agreement. We are building something together. Black people don't always have that mindset. And you can see the reflection when you look at the numbers as relates to white marriage versus black marriage. They approach it differently. They're groomed to approach it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This brother said to me one time, shout out to the bad guy with his crazy self, but he said, and I'm probably I'm bad with trying to exact things how people said it, but he was basically saying that black women send their daughters to college for an education. Go join the sororities, go be the straight A student, be the best you can be. He said white women send their daughters to college to find their husband. I said, I know that's right.
It's real.
That was so heavy.
It's real.
What
Yeah.
you think about that?
That's true. That's very true from a sociological lens. It's true. There's some things, some other factors that factor into that, but it's very true.
Well,
Yeah.
does that have anything to do with the suppression of blacks for so long that we want to have a place of that we put our standards on grades and finances and opposed to the connection of humans? Is
Yeah,
it
it's about achieving, and also when you
achieving?
look
There
at
you go. Mhm.
yeah, when you look in black families, if there's a son and daughter, black people, especially mothers, they raise their daughters and they baby their sons.
Oh man, listen,
Yeah,
that's heavy.
and that plays out in so many different ways, and I feel bad for black women because they have so few options. The numbers are not in black women's favor.
And then these black brothers get sent out. Not all of y'all, so don't take offense, but you get sent out as babies and want us to continue to baby you. And that's
That's
so
correct.
unfortunate.
Yes, when you have a man who has always been told yes by a woman, his mama, his grandmama, his aunts, his mama's girlfriends, that's all you yes, 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 yes. And then you finally meet somebody that tells you no, and then it's a problem and it
Mm,
turns into a domestic violence situation or some other kind of maladaptive behavior or mistreatment. Who are you to tell me no? Or you just get dismissed and I go and find somebody else that's
mm,
going to say yes to me. And so I've done some workshops with women groups, and I will often raise the question when this whole conversation about men comes up, and there'll always be a few ladies in the group. It's always just a few that go down this whole trail of man of dogs, that whole speech, that mindset. And so I will single them out and raise a question. Monkeys raise monkeys and giraffes raise giraffes and orangutans raise orangutans. Any animal species raises its own. And so we are often mad at these men that we call dogs, but we're not concerned about the bitches that raise them.
come on now.
I use that from an etymological sense of the word.
Right.
What's raising this dog? A bitch. And so the focus needs to be put on the bitch that's raising the dog so that she can stop doing the bitch stuff
Your
that
bitch ass
raises in the
mama. No, I'm
rears of
just playing.
love.
Y'all, I'm just playing.
That has to be addressed.
Listen, brother, let me tell you something. I was on my little brother's podcast a year ago, and this is what I'm gonna say to any ladies that calls a man a dog. I got two of them in here. Luckily, they have not barked since I've been in here. My dogs literally break out my gate. This last one been doing it every day. It was a time where they would do it, once a day, twice a day, all the time, right?
Yeah.
They come back home. They loyal. They good. These pussy cats out here though, they are the most trifling, disloyal. So when you call a man a dog, I want a dog, right? I want this loyal nigga that I don't care what you might do outside the home. You bring your tail home and you be good to me at home. I don't want these pussycat ass niggas. You hear me? That's gonna go out here and screw everything and come back pregnant with 5 kittens in her and she don't even know who the daddy is. Come on now. Y'all got it twisted. Give me the dogs, honey. Y'all keep these pussycat ass niggas. But anyway, go ahead, Pastor. Excuse me.
No, I'm done. I'm done. You put an exclamation point on what I was saying.
I needed that moment. Okay, so y'all, I told y'all better have y'all pen and pad ready. So on to this one. It's you also talked about. Oh, I think I touched on this, but not really, because I want to talk about the price you put on yourself, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, so you come into the relationship and you've really they've already paid whatever price you put on yourself. They've paid that price. So I think you mentioned you can't change the price once you've already made the purchase, right?
That's
So
right.
then, in that space, I guess I'm just trying to say, like, do you walk away? How do you put it like this? How do you resell yourself? You know what I mean? If you're already in a relationship, you in situationship or whatever, how do you relabel, retag me, you know what I'm saying? How do you do that? Because one thing I got from your thing is people are not going to go in a store where they can't make a purchase at. So you have to put your value up high enough to where you want to be purchased at. But if you did not do that, how do you revalue yourself, repackage yourself?
I think having a mature and honest conversation with this person, hey, this is the path I've been on. This is how I've been walking, how I've been carrying myself. This is the value that I placed upon myself. I've been doing some work. I've been doing some reevaluation. I've been kind of looking at where I've come from, where I am, and where I want to go. And the most illiterate person of the 21st century isn't a person that can't read or write, but a person who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. And because I don't want to be illiterate, because I'm willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn, I've unlearned some stuff about me. I've gotten some help, I've gotten some therapy, I've gotten some counsel and some advice, and I've learned some new stuff about me. Based upon that, there's a new version of me here. Now we need to make a determination as to how we're going to move forward. This is what you're used to from me, but I've raised it to here. Are you willing to match? Are you willing to step up to this space where I am now, to this standard that I'm setting? If you need time, cool. We can check it out and see if it's going to work. But I'm going to be monitoring to see if you're going to give me the same stuff over and over, repackaged, or if you're going to really kind of step up to where it is. And I'm setting a time limit on this because if things don't move to a particular point by a particular time, I'm going to have to reassess this and I may have to step away. We just may not be meant for each other moving forward. We can be cool, we can be friends, but we may not be meant to be together at this level of relationship. You're not a bad person, not diminishing you. We're just moving in a different direction at a different speed in life. And I can't wait for you to catch up. So this is where we are. What you want to do about it?
I love that. And in that space, ladies and gentlemen, but of course I have to speak to the ladies, friends, myself, anybody. We also have to make sure that when we make that bold statement, we make that bold challenge, if you will, to the person, that we really have leveled ourselves up mentally.
Yeah.
Mentally. Like, don't just, because I think too often we see posts and we see these podcasts, we hear things spoken, and then we run with it. And we start regurgitating what was said, but we haven't really put it inside of us to even really be regurgitating it out of us, right? So you have to become what you are, what you're desiring. Like you said, don't ask for more than what you have. If you got dirty nails and you want her to have clean nails, stop it. You know what I'm saying? If you going bald and she can't wear weave, I don't understand. Go get you a mate. What you call it? Pate? Mate? What the things called? Go get you a lace front.
Peace,
You
right?
see what I'm saying? Like it. So stop requiring of us, and men start requiring of women. Women start requiring of men what you don't bring to the table yourself. And to me, it's far from material. It's far from your monetary value. It's all internal. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I can look at the world itself and see more often than not, people have what it takes to bring to the table financially. You know, for the most part, that ain't needed. That it's not needed. And I think the breakdown has come in our community because a lot of women got more than men. And so then they feel like, well, what do you need me for? We need everything else. You
sure.
know, we need
Yeah.
it, and we need that too. You know, I can't
But
remember.
that's not how we're, if I can cut you off, Spice,
Yeah,
that's
go,
not
go.
how we're socialized. And we have to do a better job in training generations behind us and rewiring their mind about that. Because the reality is, many of our Black women are making more, are doing better, are excelling educationally, entrepreneurially, all of that. They get in the bag.
Right.
And so when men are constantly hearing, though, you got to do this, 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 you got to bring this. I ain't going to the cheesecake or all these other places for a first date. Ma'am, stop. Now
That
you
brought
went
me.
to school on free and reduced lunch. Now all of a sudden, have
Wait a
self-esteem.
minute. You ain't take them back to school, did you? They went to school on what?
Free and reduced lunch. Your ass was poor. Stop acting brand new.
Oh my gosh.
So men are trained and nurtured to be providers. And so when we have difficulty figuring out how we're going to fill that role of provider, because you have positioned yourself where you have provided for yourself, it can be difficult for us to find where we plug in and where we fit. And so it takes a female being sensitive to that, because when we can't do, that impacts us. When our money ain't right, I don't care how bad you are, that can impact the sex appeal, the sex drive, all of that stuff. Because
Mm-hmm.
again, we're wired. I gotta be a provider. I gotta do this, that, and the other. I gotta fill the gaps. And when we can't, we don't know where to fit. And if there's not clear conversation about how you can fit and helping him and coaching him into this rewiring of his mind, it's gonna go bad. It's gonna go haywire.
Well, what does a woman say to that? Because some men automatically come in assuming that a woman who's established has a certain mindset that she may not necessarily have. And so then if he comes in already feeling like the underdog and he hasn't even given her the opportunity to cater to him or whatever, like what does a woman say to that?
Yeah, learning him,
Okay.
finding his strengths, his
Okay.
strong points, the value that he brings to the table outside of the physical or the financial, and elevating that,
Mm.
glorifying that, highlighting that. Our ego has to be stroked consistently, constantly. So showing us and, highlighting that thing, keep driving that thing that makes him feel needed and wanted. And sometimes it's like I do with some of my mentors. I know the answer, but I'm still going to go to them and ask them the question, because
Okay.
I know the human being needs their ego stroked. And it don't diminish me. It ingratiates them and me more to each other. All of that, you got to play that role sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can do it for yourself, but ask me to do it for you.
All right, I like it. X.
Those just show me where I can fit into your life and add value.
And I want to add to that, if you ask and they can't do, don't make them feel like
Less than.
less than.
Yeah.
I like it. So
Yeah.
y'all, we listen, this was everything that I required it to be tonight. I prayed for this and here we are. I'm elated, right? But y'all know what we about to go into before oh, hold on, let me see. I'm so sorry, y'all. And one of the things I told this good brother was that every 15 minutes I was gonna check the chat, and I did not. I told him I was gonna be in class. It says, this is so true. My mama told me don't depend on a man to do for you what you can do for yourself. She meant well, but was not the best advice, probably because she didn't have it. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to be mindful of what we're teaching our kids, grandkids, sisters, friends, all of that. And brothers too. Like listen, I don't want the ladies to think I'm tripping by saying we digging into the minds of men to get understanding. I want us to understand them, but fellas, y'all got to come to some understanding too. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all got to accept some things too that just make us feel
It's a
like the
two-way
queen
street.
we are. Yeah, it's a two-way street. We make it a four-way, and let's double this thing up. But listen, Chiquita's banana. You got your banana, good brother? Because I got mine.
Yeah, it's flowing. It's coming.
It's flowing. Okay, I usually go last, but I'm gonna go first tonight,
Okay.
y'all. This is how honored I am to have this brother in the room with me, right? Because y'all know I always save my stuff for last. But here is my banana. Speaking of Mother Pastor Howard, how our parents and all these bad things that we got told coming up, and it stuck to us, right? So my banana for tonight, coming up, I was always told that when your boobs itch, it's because the last person you had sex with is want to have sex with you again. My left boob been itching for a long time, and that's where they found the cancer, y'all. That is a lie from the pits of hell. I don't care what nigga wanted again. Go get a mammogram right now. And brothers, if your balls itching, go get a prostate check or something. I don't know. But them itches is a lie. It is not somebody trying to screw you again. Go get some help. Okay? So my banana is, if your titty itching, get a mammogram. Okay? Let's catch this thing early and let's get this Vitamix going. Let's get on these smoothies. Let's Dr. Sabi our life back into good health, because CB is Sabi, whatever. Anyway, if your titty itching, go get it checked. That nigga don't want you. Okay? Okay, brother, your turn.
It is so difficult to come behind that. That is so good. I guess I would challenge people in the space of cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias. Whenever we run into somebody who has more information than us, we should not approach them with the mindset of, oh, you think you know more than me. I probably do. You should ask people more questions than you provide more answers. We should always be in a state of constant learning, because we can learn from everybody.
Yes.
And again, when people are subject matter experts, we can't put our theories and our dogma over the data. We can't put our feelings over the facts. So learn to humble yourself and say, I don't know, because actually it's when we embrace our ignorance that we take the first step towards knowledge. You got to own the fact that you don't know for you to then know.
I couldn't have, see, I wouldn't have even shared mine if I'd had to come behind that, because that's exactly what it is. Learning. I told y'all to have y'all pens and pads ready tonight. This brother does not play. So can we have those platforms again where they can find you at? And listen, ladies, hit my inbox if y'all trying to take this trip with me to Chicago, because I'm going to get this word in person. So y'all let me know when we taking this trip, because y'all know I'm ready. I'm ready. Tuesday through Thursday when my grandbaby ain't here. Let's go. But anyway, tell them how to find you, good brother.
On Facebook, Stephen Thurston. That's Stephen with a PH. On Instagram, Stephen J. Thurston. You can catch me there. If you're on Twitter still, SJT Speaks. All of those platforms are where you can find me, and I'm going to help you to change what's within so that you can change what's around. And on my page, you're going to laugh, learn, or both. That's the goal of it.
I heard that. And Mirror Moments is every Friday at what time again?
Mirror Moments, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Every Friday. That's where you can find me. I've written a book entitled Mirror Moments. If you want to gain access to that book, you can grab it off my website, stephenjthurston.com.
Listen, the brother is bad, y'all. I'm telling you. If y'all need some knowledge, if you need to grow, if you just want to sit in class like me, because I be on his page like this. For real. I'm going to start sharing it more too, y'all. I really get engrossed in listening to stuff, and then I forget to hit the share button. So forgive me. I'm going to do better. But go to the brother's page. It's some wisdom there. And then it's a lot going on there. Like, again, you might have to travel a little bit, but it's always something happening. We got to get out more, y'all. And listen, he shared some stuff with me about Morocco. Y'all better get some culture about y'all stuff, because we sitting over here giving these people all of our tax money when we could really be somewhere else living it up. Because I'm finna go. I'm sick of it. But listen, do you have anything else that you would like to share besides me saying thank you so much? Like, you have no idea how you blessed my soul tonight. I'm about to sleep so good.
Thank you.
Nothing else tonight but sleeping in peace with the Lord.
I'm honored to be here, and we're praying that things turn around with your diagnosis.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I love you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll be back next week. I don't know who, what, and how, but we growing. We growing as a community. We growing as Black people. We growing as spiritual believers in Christ, and whoever else y'all want to believe in that too. But we're gonna keep it over here. Anyway, I love y'all. I thank y'all so much. And listen, go get a Vitamix and get on this journey with me. And if y'all catch a chicken bone in my hand, slap the shit out of it, okay? I don't want no more meat, but I have a hard addiction to hot wings. So let's get it together, y'all. And again, when they take these off, I'm coming on here live. So y'all get ready. I'm gonna be blocked for about a year, but it's okay. I'm coming all the way live. And my next appointment is on the 17th, guys. I'm gonna keep y'all posted. I love y'all. I want y'all to take this journey with me. Here I am. I'm gonna live it boldly. So on them chemo days or whatever they do, I'm gonna come on here. I'm gonna be live and crying. Y'all better get on here live and crying with me. I don't care. Y'all finna take this journey with me. Y'all gonna be sick of me. Okay? Because we gonna grow and learn together. But I love y'all. Happy Wednesday. Oh, shout out to my mother. Last thing, y'all, I'm done for real. Forgive me when people say happy heavenly birthday. It's just not in me, right? Dead is dead. But shout out to my mother. It would be her birthday if she was here. I guess I'm weird like that. I don't want to sound heartless, but it's just weird to me to tell somebody dead happy birthday. So I'm gonna just say, if she were here, we'd be lit. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Mwah. And if I catch a chicken wing in y'all hand, I get to slap it out too. I'm gonna make y'all vegetarians with me. All right. Pastor Thurston, I'm gonna be in touch with you, because I promise you, I'm coming up to Chicago. I'm coming to get this in person. There's no way that I can get all this wisdom just online. It's impossible. So I can't wait to meet you in person. I look forward to it. Y'all hit my inbox if y'all trying to fly with me, because I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
Peace and love. Mwah. Let me go.